Well, welcome to Unruly Guides. This is the continuing workshop of going through and how to set up on Kindle's direct publishing program. Where we left off before was we had added contributors. If you need to add some more, you can see here that I have my name as the author. You click Add Contributors, and you can click the small button that says Add Another. And you can see by the titles here that there's author, editor, forward, illustrator, and so on. If you decide that you don't need another contributor, you just simply click remove and save what you have. Now on the next section, it's about the language. For most of you that are listening to this video, it will be English, but we do have Spanish, German, French, Italian, and Portuguese as choices. The publication date, I like to use the publication date of this digital book. Now, if you have a traditionally published book with a publisher, that's different. You can put that in there if you like, but in my opinion, I like to put the newest date because it makes your book look a lot more fresh in the Amazon store. The publisher here is you, unless you are a publisher publishing someone's book. Now, this is not the publisher of your traditional book, because unless they are the one doing it. You are the publisher because this is a digital book. It is completely different than a traditional book. The ISBN number, you need to purchase your own ISBN number if you want to put it in here. If the ISBN number is from your publisher or the traditional book, you cannot put it in there because it is linked to that publisher. You also do not need one to publish to Kindle, and since they are rather expensive, I wouldn't buy one at this moment. Now you need to verify your publishing rights. Now it says here, it asks if this is a public domain work or you hold the rights to it and it's not a public domain work. Now if you want to know more about public domain, there's some information here on the right side. You can learn more. But essentially it's just asking if you own the copyright to the book you are publishing. Now if you've ever visited Gutenberg.org, there's a lot of free books on there, a lot of old books from like 1923 and earlier. Those are all public domain, which means anybody can publish them. I wouldn't recommend going there and all of a sudden finding a book and publishing it on Kindle. There are hundreds of copies of Alan Quartermain and things like that. So just stick with your own books. So you do have to check this, and I would check that it's not a public domain book. The next section is where to target your customers. Now this section is kind of tricky because if you've ever looked on Amazon.com in different categories, you will all of a sudden notice that these categories that they provide here are not the same as what's in the store. There is a trick to get around that, and I can tell you that in a moment. But if you want to search through the categories, this also has another weird quirk which really bugs me, but you can get out of it too. If you click, you'll see the whole list here. If you click any of the names or the little plus symbols, I usually just click the name, it will drop down your solutions. But you can't, oh, I got it to go back up. But sometimes it doesn't go back up. And so you get these long lists of things in here. If that happens to you, then all you have to do is, save your draft, go back to your bookshelf, and then reopen this to work with. They must have fixed it since I've worked on it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to go through your books and you're going to want to see what section that you fall into. Is it a fairy tale? Is it family life? Is it historical? And you're going to go and choose. Now let's say I have a mystery detective book and it's historical. So I would check it and you can see that it comes over here. Now you get up to 2 choices unless they've changed that too. So let's see, we have women sleuths. Let's see if I can choose one more. Psychological. This is where you have selected more than 2 categories. You're only allowed 2. So at any time if you decide you don't want one of these, you just select it, you remove the category, and you choose the one that you do want. When you're done, you click Save. So now that you have your categories, they should be listed here. This explains more about categories. So in the next section, we will continue on with the rest of this, filling this in, and then your pricing. So I'll see you then.